Medical ultrasound is the greatest gift from God to mankind, but sometimes making the right diagnosis poses a dilemma. So let's unpack the sonographic dilemmas that we can find during our examinations. So here I'm going to explain the answers to our ovarian pathology quiz session that we've done. So let's go straight into question number 1. A 28-year-old woman presents with pelvic pain. Transvaginal ultrasound shows a 4 cm ovarian cyst with fine internal echoes and a fishnet or reticular pattern. No solid components on Doppler flow within the echoes. What is the most likely diagnosis? So you can see this is our lesion there in the ovary, and this is what we call the fishnet or reticular pattern. So this fishnet or reticular pattern is a sonographic sign of fibrin strands of blood. So this is fibrin strands of blood which confers this configuration, the so-called fishnet appearance. So this is in keeping with a hemorrhagic corpus luteum cyst because blood confers the fishnet appearance that we are seeing there. So this is not a serous cyst adenoma. This is not a mature teratoma. It's not an endometrioma, this one. So this is what you call the reticular pattern. So if you see these septations there, which are echogenic like that inside the cyst, this is highly suggestive of a hemorrhagic cyst. You can also see what is called a retracted clot in a hemorrhagic cyst. Question number 2. Which ultrasound feature is most characteristic of an endometrioma, the chocolate cyst? A. Posterior acoustic enhancement with thin walls. B. Homogeneous low-level internal echoes, the ground glass appearance. C. Fat fluid levels with the bright echoes. D. Multilocular mass with the papillary projections. So this is a typical characteristic of an endometrioma, which is a chocolate cyst. So the morphology of an endometrioma is what is referred to as the ground glass appearance. So this is what differentiates an endometrioma from other ovarian lesions. So it's homogeneous, low level internal echo. So they are homogeneous. You can see that they are homogeneous there, they are homogeneous, and then this internal echoes. So this is ground glass appearance. So our answer is B. Question number 3. A dermoid plaque, the rocking task nodule, is a classic finding in which ovarian lesion? So this is our ovarian mass lesion there. Then you can see here what we have here. This is the echogenic nodule there that is called the rocking task nodule. So you can find some internal debris in the dermoid cyst there that is called the dermoid mesh. So this rocking task nodule gives a posterior acoustic shadow. So the configuration is now what we call the tip of the iceberg sign. So A, hemorrhagic cyst. B, mature cystic teratoma, which is the dermoid. Then C, mucinous cystadenoma. D, thicker cyst. So the morphology of a dermoid plaque, the rocking task nodule, we find it in a mature cystic teratoma, which is the dermoid. Question number 4. A post-menopausal woman has a 6 cm unilocular, thin-walled ovarian cyst with no internal echoes or solid components. What is the most appropriate next step according to common guidelines? A post-menopausal woman has a 6 cm unilocular, thin-walled ovarian cyst with no internal echoes or solid components. So this is a sign that this is a benign lesion, is not malignant. So what is the most appropriate next step according to common guidelines? A. Immediate surgical removal. B. Follow-up ultrasound in 6 to 12 months. C. No follow-up needed if less than 5 centimeter. D. Color Doppler to assess for neovascularity. So all these C's, they should be followed up. So the correct answer is follow-up ultrasound in 6 to 12 months. So that's the recommendation that you have to give when you see such a cyst. Yes, postmenopausal, and it's non-cancerous, it's benign. So you just have to follow up in 6 to 12 months. Question number 5. Which finding is most suggestive of an ovarian torsion on ultrasound? So ovarian torsion is when the ovary twist. So enlarged ovary with peripheral follicles and absent Doppler flow. B. Ground glass appearance with low level internal echoes. C. String of pure sign. D. Thick septations with the color flow. So here is an ovarian torsion. You can see that the ovary is enlarged, is demarcated, and there's no internal flow on Doppler. Compared to the contralateral side, you can see there's flow there on ultrasound, there's no flow here. So the correct answer for ovarian torsion is A, enlarged ovary with the peripheral follicles and absent Doppler flow. So that's the correct answer. Number 6. A patient with infertility shows bilateral enlarged ovaries greater than 10 cubic centimeters with over 20 small follicles which are 2 to 9 millimeters arranged peripherally. What is diagnosis fees benefits? Fees best? A. Bilateral demodes. B. Polycystic ovarian morphology PCOM. C. Bilateral endometriomas. D. Ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome. So you can see the morphology there. We've got this multiple cyst there and the echogenic stroma. So this is a morphology of polycystic ovarian morphology PCOM. If we have ovaries which are enlarged above 10 cubic centimeters with above 20 small follicles 2 to 9 millimeters in diameter, so that's polycystic ovarian morphology. Question number 7. A complex cystic mass with multiple thin septations, no solid nodules, and a low level echoes is seen. What is the most likely benign diagnosis? So we have got the lesion there. You can see the multiple septations. They are just these tiny little internal low level echoes there. So this is a serous adenoma, mucinous cyst adenoma, mature teratoma, and borderline tumor. So the correct answer is mucinous cyst adenoma. When I'm talking about a serous cyst adenoma, serous is fluid, so it should be fluid, anechoic fluid without the septations and without the internal low-level echoes. So mature teratoma, you should have a demoid, and then the borderline tumor is supposed to be malignant transformation with internal vascularity on Doppler. Question number 8. Which feature raises highest concern for malignancy in ovarian mass on ultrasound? Which feature raises highest concern for malignancy in ovarian mass on ultrasound? So you see, we have got a mass there, and you can see there are internal papillary projections, and there is this solid mass within the cystic lesion, and there is internal flow on power Doppler. So A, solid papillary projections with vascular flow. B, homogeneous low-level echoes. C, posterior acoustic shadows from calcifications. D, unilocular simple cyst less than 5 centimeters. So the correct answer is, if you see a cystic lesion in the ovary with internal flow and solid components, that is highly suggestive of malignancy, which is cancer. So the correct answer is solid papillary projections with vascular flow. That's our correct answer, A. Question number 9. A pregnant patient on fertility drugs develops bilateral enlarged ovaries With the multiple large cysts, what is this condition? So you can see here are the large follicles there that is developed. So this is due to hyperstimulation of the ovary by the fertility medication drugs. A. Endometriomas. B. Thicker lutein cyst hyperratio luteinalis. C. Bilateral hemorrhagic cyst. D. Crankiness big tumors. So the correct answer is because of the hyperstimulation by the pregnancy medication, the answer is thicker lutein cyst, which is called the hyperratio luteinalis. That's the morphology. Question number 10. A 35-year-old woman has a para-ovarian cyst on ultrasound. Where is it typically located relative to the ovary? So you can see the ovaries here, and you can see the para-ovarian cyst is there. A. Within the ovarian stroma. B. Separate from the ovary, often in the broad ligament. C. Posterior to the uterus. D. Adherent to the fallopian tube, fimbria. So the correct answer is separate from the ovary, often in the broad ligament. That's why it is called para. Para is on the para side. So it should be separate from the ovary, often in the broader ligament. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our quiz presentation. These are the answers. Congratulations to all those who got the answers very correct. So to those who missed, I think this is your chance to learn. Add every pathology to your vocabulary of learning to improve your practice. Thank you so much. Let's meet again in the next quiz session. Enjoy the rest of your day.